Xena here with the Babbling Bards podcast. Podcast made by Z-Knights for Z-Knights. Wait a minute. Something's not right here. Where's Trista?
Dude!
Yes?
Dude!
Yes.
There's a mother-fragging gigantic Leviathan dude chained to a mountain.
I believe that would be Prometheus.
Huh. Well, I bet he has a hell of a time finding shoes.
That's my partner in crime and subtext goofball extraordinaire. I give you Trista, everybody.
What's shaking, Z-Knights?
So, today we're covering the Xena episode, Prometheus.
In the podcast.
Right.
Where we're going to give you guys a play-by-play, some fun facts, an oopsie or two, a few history lessons in this particular episode.
Uh-huh. And you know what else?
What?
Subtext.
Go!
So, this episode, tell me, any subtext?
You have to ask?
Well, you know, it's for the Z-Knights.
Alright.
You need sunglasses for this?
Hey!
Yes?
Hold your taters, and let me break it down for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna bust a little rhyme about Xena and Gabrielle, two chicks from ancient Greece who are looking mighty swell. In the last episode, tensions ran high, all because Gabby cuddled with a guy, but it worked out in the ending. The Titans turned to stone, then our dynamic duo journeyed on alone. But now who shows his face? Zeus's little rascal Herc, and seeing this old flame makes Xena act berserk. Then Gabby meets Aeolus, Herc's partner and best friend, but Prometheus is chained and healing comes to an end. Then there's a smooch or two. Can you guess what's coming next? The warrior and bard are still tangled in subtext.
So, that would be a yes?
Faux shizzle, ill dog!
Okay. So, Prometheus.
Right. Prometheus. Okay, so when did it air?
November 6th, 1995.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like 22 years.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That was a little bit ago.
Huh. I was still in my youth. While Prometheus was being chained to the big mountain.
Yeah.
By Hera, queen of the gods. But, in the original myth,
It wasn't Hera.
it wasn't Hera that chained him.
No, it was not. It was Zeus.
It was Papa God.
It was Zeus. Yeah.
Yeah. And Zeus chained him to the mountain for giving fire to the mortals.
Right.
The humans. Because the gods, they don't like us. Some of them do.
Uh-huh.
So, in the original myth, Prometheus has stolen fire from Epimetheus, who's his brother.
Uh-huh.
Prometheus means foresight. Epimetheus means hindsight.
Hindsight 2020.
That's right. That's exactly where that phrase comes from. Now, you're so excited. You're so smart.
No,
Yeah,
that would be you.
No, you're so smart. I'm the goofball. I'm the nutball.
Okay.
Yeah. I came up with like a cheesy rap in 2 minutes just for the.
That was cool.
No, it was cheesy. But I'm glad you liked it.
It may be cheesy, but it was still cool.
It was very, very rhythmically challenged.
See, I couldn't do that.
Italians don't rap. We just don't.
I couldn't just come up with something like that in 2 minutes.
I can do the Liar Liar Hearts on Fire rap.
I know you can.
But that's season 5. Season 5, people! It'll happen.
Alright.
It'll be going down. Fade to Black Streak. The homies got at me. Collaborations. Bump like it. I'm done. Okay. So, Prometheus!
Yes.
Save me from my embarrassment. Little known fact, Michael Hurst broke his arm while he was filming this episode.
He did.
Some accounts say he broke his arm, some accounts say he broke his wrist.
Yeah.
We don't know what he broke, but it was broken.
Right.
And this is the next episode since Cradle of Hope that we have a disclaimer at the end.
Uh-huh. That's right.
And the disclaimer that we have out at the end is actually a callback. It has a double meaning. It's a callback to Michael Hurst having a broken arm.
Right.
And Aeolus getting hurt in the episode. And Aeolus was harmed during the production of this motion picture.
Uh-huh.
The Green Men went on to live long and prosper. Right?
Right.
Right. So, there you go. We have a disclaimer again. But we still don't have a chakram throw.
No.
Not in a single episode.
No chakram. The first appearance of Hercules and Aeolus.
Yes. It is. There'll be more.
Yeah. It will be. First one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
So,
this one was written by R.J. Stewart.
yes.
Yeah.
Directed by Stephen Posey.
Yep. Alrighty.
Yeah. So, we open, and Gabrielle's snoozing, and there are these thugs spying on her while she's snoozing. And they think they're spying on her and Xena.
Right.
They're not spying on Xena. Xena's up in a big tree.
Uh-huh.
So they attack the camp.
Yeah.
Xena pops down out of the tree, letting out her infamous war cry.
But before she does that, the guy, whatever, he was the goon.
Mm-hmm.
He's all like, didn't he say that I killed Xena?
He says, I'm going to kill Xena.
And then he kills a watermelon.
My least favorite fruit.
It wasn't Xena. It was a watermelon with a wig.
It was.
Okay. And then Xena pops out. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I can go ahead.
Yes.
That's okay?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
So, now that I have Liliana's permission, her blessing, if you will.
Do it.
I'm going!
Okay.
Okay! Heavens to Betsy. So, she jumps down, she kicks butt, she throws a dagger, and she gets the dude in the neck and severs his windpipe.
Uh-huh.
Then she starts yelling for Gabrielle, who slept through the entire thing.
Oblivious to everything again.
Because she's asleep.
Right.
She wakes up, she's like, I missed something. Xena's like, give me that small knife out of my saddlebag. Yeah. Gabrielle does, and Xena has to cut a new wind hole for him to breathe out of. So she does a trach right there on the fly.
Her fine medical skills.
Stuffs a reed in his neck.
Yeah.
You know what?
Huh.
There are some doctors in today's time that Xena could probably really teach a few things to.
Right?
Yeah. But anyhow.
Yeah. That's a kind of poorly bandaged thing there.
No, that's because that's usually the nurse's job, so that's Gabrielle's fault.
Okay.
Yeah. She wasn't naughty nursing enough. Anyway, so we go to this inn.
And where there are other people who are not feeling so great.
Yeah.
They can,
So Xena's chitty chatting with the innkeeper, and we flash to this chain that's slithering across a stony surface.
Right, and
we see this giant dude hanging back on. You know what?
Huh.
He's a big fella.
Yeah.
He didn't have any chains on him at the time. He could have just gotten up and walked away.
Right.
I kind of wonder why he just laid there. Maybe they did some kind of weird god thing where he was frozen in space, in place.
Probably.
That's unfortunate.
Probably. That's probably what it was. So we see Prometheus getting chained.
Mm-hmm. And then we hear Hera's voice chastising him and telling him why he's beaten.
Uh-huh.
Right?
I think so.
And Hera's voice that we hear
is not Meg Foster.
Is not Meg Foster. Hera's voice that we hear is actually Joy Watson, who played Hera in Hercules, and she also voiced Hera in the animated one.
Yeah.
So
now Meg Foster plays a good Hera.
I like Meg Foster.
She did really good.
She's a really smart actress.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I think she did a much better job than Joy Watson.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my opinion. And so
and like when he gets
well, you hear Prometheus start screaming first,
right?
And then it cuts back to the inn, and the guy that Xena's
trach guy.
Yeah.
He starts like gasping for air
and he starts gurgling. He starts strangling.
Yeah, right. And I find it funny how Xena's just trying to shove the thing down in his throat.
Well, because usually with a trach,
what'll
happen is if they cough or they move or anything, it'll push it out of their windpipe. Yep. So that's always the first thing that a physician even checks is to make sure that it's
but it's just the way she was doing it. It's like
she has no bedside manner.
Like, get in there, damn it!
It's a good thing she's not a pediatrician. You know,
right?
Those kids be like, "No, mommy!" But anyway,
it's just the way she was doing. It's like, oh my god, she's all like not really understanding because she's done that plenty of times before and it's always worked. It's never failed.
Mm-hmm.
So then he dies, and then you see other people killing over and dying, and then she hears the wails.
Then she hears the wails of Prometheus.
And that's when she realizes he's been captured.
Well, Gabrielle's like, what's that? And she's like, the cries of Prometheus. And, she's like, lost the ability to heal ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. Go mortality.
Right.
So, we, get her and Gabrielle walking on a mountainside after the theme song is played.
Right.
And Gabrielle's asking her questions because Xena's decided that she's going to go see this oracle.
Uh-huh.
And Gabrielle's like, well, how do you know you're supposed to go see this oracle?
Friend told her.
Well, what friend? What friend?
Just a friend.
Because, Gabrielle's the only friend. Even Xena says she's the only friend. But, because I guess she, forgotten about Marcus. My friend. My friend. It's like my least favorite line in the entire series.
Yeah.
It is. But anyway, we're not on that episode. We already made it through that episode.
This is for my friend. I think that's your least favorite one.
Yeah, I guess the my friend's just cheesy, and Perdiccas's line just sounds retarded.
Yeah.
This is for my friend! Shut up, mofo! If you're gonna shoot the arrow, just shoot the arrow. Kill the goddamn soldier, get your little pat on the behind from your other little comrades, and go on with life. Keep going so Callisto can kill you. Go ahead.
Spoiler!
Sorry. Not sorry. I was happy when he died. I cheered.
I felt out of nowhere.
I felt really bad for Gabrielle.
Yeah.
But I was so happy when he was 86.
Okay, back to Prometheus.
Yeah.
You're like jumping way ahead.
You're the one that brought up Perdiccas. Don't even blame me.
I did.
I went back. You went forward.
I did.
It's your fault.
I'm sorry.
I'll live till I die.
Okay, back to Prometheus. So, on their way to see the Oracle,
Yes.
Xena tells Gabrielle to wait outside, right?
Yes.
She goes in, and there's these 3 oracles.
Yes, I have a fun fact
Dancing
about
around.
the oracles.
Yes, do tell.
Do you tell?
Yes.
Well, I worked in a clothing store.
Yeah.
So, I know my colors pretty good. Plus, I mix paint on a daily basis now.
Uh-huh.
One of them is wearing a reddish orange, well, a rust color, if you will.
Okay.
One of them is wearing a sagey green color, and one of them is wearing a royal blue color.
Okay.
These colors represent 3 elements.
Mm-hmm.
Earth
fire
is the green,
yeah.
Fire is the rust color, and air is the blue color.
Right.
Well, you'll notice it's interesting that the rust color takes charge, because fire is what Prometheus had stolen. We've said that like 3 times now.
Right.
I have. And so, because that's the gift that Prometheus snatched, that's the one that's in charge of the temple.
Right.
Plus, they're in the Temple of Hephaestus at that point, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Temple of Hephaestus, and Hephaestus is, technically the god of arts and crafts, but he does all the blacksmithing. He does all the smithy work. So, fire there, too, would be why that particular element stepped up to the plate in a leadership role.
Yeah.
Go fire!
So then she asks Xena, well, what do you give? Or what do you... Doesn't Xena say, like, my life if I have to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we see this, I don't even know what it is. It's got big teeth.
It's a Dodongo.
Honey, it's not Zelda. It's Xena.
They could have had Dodongos in ancient Greece. You don't know their life history.
Okay.
For those of you guys that don't know, Legend of Zelda is like my favorite game in the world. Like, all of them. Majora's Mask is my favorite. But in Ocarina of Time, there's a big, giant Dodongo skeleton that you have to go into, and there's your big boss fights in there.
Okay.
So, the jaws that open, it looks like the giant Dodongo skeleton.
So Xena's gonna do a boss fight?
Maybe.
Okay.
Eventually, she always does. But anyhow.
So yeah.
There wasn't a boss in there, however.
No, there was a tablet all the way at the end with this chain attached to it. And then Oracle Lady puts the flame under the rope.
That's holding the jaw up.
Right. Pretty much running out of time. You better get it.
Mm-hmm.
So Xena starts pulling.
Xena looks at her like, what the fuck, man? I just need the tablet.
Right?
Ape shit.
So she starts pulling it. And then just when you think she's got it, snap!
Goes the rope, and then snap goes the tablet.
Yeah, so she's just like holding a little piece of it. She's like, oh shit. She's literally got this oh shit look on her face, like, ugh. And then the oracles are like, it's fine. It's not a problem. There was nothing on there anyway.
You were willing to give an arm.
Was it an arm or a hand?
No, it was a hand. That's right.
That's it. So Xena's pretty much like, I'm not here to play games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so pretty much it was a test to see how much you were willing to give.
Right.
So she passed.
Yay, Xena!
So then she tells her where to get the sword.
Mm-hmm. And then she tells her, but wait, there's something you need to know. And then we cut back outside to Gabrielle.
And then, yeah.
And outside with Gabrielle.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Gabrielle. There is a conversation where Xena tells her, or Gabrielle's like, hey, you got it. Or do you know where to get the sword? And Xena's like, yeah. Gabrielle tells her, I knew you'd come through.
Right.
You always come through.
Right.
And Xena says, oh, what if one day I don't?
Right.
She's like,
but you always do. You always.
And, oh, good. Xena Legend posted on Instagram. Yay. So Xena says, yeah, but what if one day I don't? What would you do?
Right.
And Gabrielle gets this kind of hurt look on her face almost. She's like, I'd become a traveling bard. And Xena tells her, you'd be good at that.
Right.
And,
where would you go? She has something like, where would you go?
Don't you need some schooling first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Academy.
Yeah. Which is a setup for
Athens City Academy of the Performing Bards.
Yes.
Which is coming up.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But it essentially sets the show up for its first clip episode, but we'll get into clip episodes later.
Okay. So then they arrive at Falafel's hut.
Falafel.
Falafel.
He's not Falafel in Xena.
No,
he's
Hercules
Falafel in Hercules.
He's something else in this one. I forgot what the name was.
No, he's just a random shopkeeper.
But he has a name. I saw it somewhere, but I can't remember what it is. But anyway, I call him Falafel because
he's credited as shopkeeper at the end of the episode.
Okay, because in Hercules, that's who he is.
Yeah.
But all he wants is for people to buy his stuff, but nobody buys his stuff.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Counterfeit stuff because he's got fake mountains.
Well, he can't sell the real ones.
No, but he's trying to sell Hephaestus. Did I say that? Hephaestus. Hephaestus.
There you go.
Who has that problem saying
Life
that?
with a Portuguese, people.
Yeah, he's trying to, pawn this off as his Hephaestus. I still can't say it.
Hephaestus.
But it's actually Mount Olympus. And in a later scene, Gabrielle even says, oh, look, it even says Mount Olympus on the bottom.
He's trying to pass it off as Vulcan Mountain.
Vulcan Mountain. There we go.
You can say Vulcan.
Okay. That's easier to say than
Vulcan is the Roman name for Hephaestus.
I'm just going to go with Vulcan from now on then.
That's what I grew up, because Italian, that's what I grew up knowing it as. So.
Yeah. It's so much easier to say. So, okay. We'll go with Vulcan.
But Hephaestus is so much prettier.
It is.
Anyway.
Anyway. So, Xena pretty much, tells Gabrielle to wait there. While she goes and retrieves the sword. So, now while Gabrielle's waiting there, somebody pops in. Who pops in?
Yolus.
Yup. But before that, we have Xena in the tunnel cave thing.
Xena in the library with a knife.
No.
It was a candlestick?
Okay.
Clue? Alright.
So, she's going to go retrieve the sword.
Yes. From the Temple of Hera.
That's right.
And so she does that.
Hera's goons come after her.
I got oopsies.
Okay, go ahead. It's about the walls, isn't it?
It's about the walls.
Alright.
So the walls are foam.
Yeah.
And you can tell because when they're running through, the walls shake. When they bounce off the walls shake.
Because they bounced off of
them. Yeah. When Xena kicks her way off the walls shake.
Yeah. They're not very sturdy walls.
They're not sturdy walls. But then again, the temple was really old.
Okay.
But it would have been really new at this point in time because it was ancient Greece. So
Okay.
that's just faulty building skills. Anyway.
Yeah.
But those are my oopsies for the Temple of Hera.
Okay.
So Xena pulls the sword out of the stone, and she pulls this one out. It takes her a lot longer to pull this one out than it does Excalibur.
Alright, Excalibur, she just slid right out of this.
Maybe because it's let's go all cheesy. She's grown as a person, and therefore her strength is increased by season 3. So, no. It's a thing. Maybe one because it was enchanted by gods as opposed to enchanted by a wizard.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
So she's got the sword.
Mm-hmm.
She steps outside of the temple and...
There's Hercules!
There's Hercules.
Herc the jerk.
So he's pretty much, give me the sword.
Yes.
And she said, nope.
Never.
You can't have it.
And then she flips up on Argo after they exchange a couple of fist bumps.
I find it funny that she's got a sword and he has a branch, and whenever she, deals some blows, the branch doesn't break.
Considering her sword, because she's fighting with her sword. She's not fighting with the sword
of Vulcan.
Of Hephaestus. Because her sword, we've seen, especially in later episodes, it's cut other sword blades.
Right.
It's cut chain. It's cut rock.
Yeah.
So there's a...
But it can't cut a twig.
No, it can't cut a twig. Maybe it was ironwood.
Maybe.
So
I found that funny, though.
Yeah, that's a little... I don't know. I don't know about that one, man.
Yeah. So, she flips up onto Argo and off she goes. And now back at the 10th with Iolaus, he's looking for a tall guy. How did he describe it?
Tall, handsome fellow with big arms.
Oh, you mean Hercules? Is what Falafel says.
Yes.
And then Gabrielle is all like, Hercules? And she kind of doesn't believe him.
She doesn't.
She doesn't believe him. Oh, yeah, he's my best friend. She's
like, Hercules is your best friend. Yes.
She's pretty much, so what's it like, being a sidekick? She didn't say it's a sidekick, but that's what she meant. Right? And he's like, I'm right there fighting alongside him.
Mm-hmm. So. I'm like, well, maybe I'll try that. And,
right.
Which is a setup for the path that she starts taking in the episode Hooves and Harlots.
Right.
So it sets her up to start following the path of the warrior.
Right.
Biggest pet peeve that I have with Gabrielle's storyline, because I love the art of Gabrielle.
Yeah. She
starts out going through on the path of stupid. Not necessarily stupid. She was very bright.
Right.
She was just, as Lucy Lawless referred to her, she was the young stupid. She was the comic relief.
Right.
She started off on the path of bardism.
Yeah.
And then she started taking the path of the warrior.
Uh-huh.
She decided the path of the warrior wasn't good for her, so she started taking the path of love. Then she chose the path of friendship.
Uh-huh.
And then, in the end, she finally chose the path of the warrior. Anyway.
Right.
So, it's almost like she flip-flopped like a middle school to high school teenager trying to figure out what they wanted to do with their life. That was the one issue I had. Because Xena, you could always see what her path was.
Right.
Renee O'Connor. Well, Gabrielle. Not so much.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So then, in comes Xena. Xena, you'll never guess who he knows. Hercules. How do you know that? And then, Iolaus is all like, hey, Xena. She's all like, Iolaus. So then Gabrielle realizes, hey, they know each other.
Yeah. Like, did you know each other?
she's like, come on, let's go.
Like, Xena, he knows Hercules. That's exactly why I can't have him at our backs.
Right. So then they leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then where do we go?
Where do we go from there, honey? Come on, you're doing brilliant.
Oh my goodness. Where do we go?
We go to the barn.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah.
To the barn where Xena and Gabrielle get attacked by Hera's henchmen.
Again.
And I find it funny that during this whole fight thing, Gabrielle's in the back with this
wooden manure fork.
Is it a fork?
It's a manure fork.
It kind of looked like a coat hanger or something. I don't know.
A coat hanger?
Yes, that was made out of wood and stuff. I don't know.
It was as tall as she was.
Yeah?
Coat hangers are a little shorter
they could be taller than that too. But whatever it was. I find that
you're talking about like a hat rack coat hanger.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
you said coat hanger. I'm thinking like little wire things that you hang shirts on.
No. But whatever it is. Find it funny that during the whole fight scene, she's just standing here in the back holding this thing.
Yeah.
Not actually doing anything, but I think she feels like she is.
She's like, I'm helping out.
So just when
Gabby!
Just when Xena thinks she's got them all defeated,
yes,
they all get up again.
Yes.
And then she'd be like, oh shit.
She kind of rolls her eyes like, oh.
And then in pops Hercules.
Hi.
And
hello.
Iolaus.
Yeah.
You need a hand there? So then, and Gabrielle's still in the back.
Right.
Holding that rack or pitchfork or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. When we see Iolaus do this little cheesy leapfrog leap over one of the henchmen's back.
Yeah.
And I laugh every time because he looks just ridiculous leaping over that fella's back.
Yeah. And this is actually the scene where he injured himself. Right.
Yeah.
So they dispatch is that the right word, dispatch? Disperse.
Yes.
There we go. Thank you.
Welcome.
I know it was this something.
Glad I could help.
It was this something. So they disperse Hera's henchmen and
dispense.
Oh, which is it? Now I'm confused.
Well, disperse is when you send them out.
Right.
Dispense is when you do away with them.
Okay. Dispense.
Yes.
They got dispensed. Okay.
They killed them, dude.
Okay. Did they kill them? Because then they just get up and run away. Okay.
So I guess disperse is correct.
So
we'll never know.
So then, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They start chit-chatting.
Well, no, you forgot a very important thing. One of the henchmen grabbed the sword.
Oh, that's right.
And struck Hercules' gauntlet with it.
That's right.
And it incinerated him.
Right. And then that's when Iolaus was like, now I know. Yeah, now I get it.
Because at first, Iolaus is just telling Hercules, I thought you cared about her. You guys are fighting over who's going to take the credit.
Yeah.
Hercules like, it's a little more complicated than that.
Yeah. So Iolaus this whole time was thinking, they're just...
Like, just let her take the credit.
Yeah. What does it matter?
Right.
But not realizing, what would happen.
Right.
Until this moment.
Right.
Where the goon grabs the sword out of Xena's scabbard.
Right.
Scabbard, right?
Yeah. And this is also the first episode that we're introduced to the scabbard on the back.
Yeah, because from here on out, she wears her sword on her back.
On her back, not on her side. Yeah. This is also the only episode that she's got two scabbards on. She still has her one from,
her sword.
on her belt.
Right.
Then the chakram's also newly placed. The chakram, instead of in previous episodes, it's been on Argo.
Yeah.
And she's grabbed it if she's needed it. But now it's on a hook.
She's got a little hook on her
side.
Right.
But after this episode, we don't see the side scabbard anymore. It's only on the back.
It's on her back.
So, yeah.
So, yeah. Grabs the sword, goes to, strike. Hercules puts out his
gauntlet up.
His arm, and it hits his gauntlet, and poof! Dude got incinerated.
Which is metal.
That
piece of Hercules' gauntlet is metal because it was crafted by Hephaestus.
So then that's when Iolaus realized, oh, now I know. So anyone that strikes the chains that are holding Prometheus with the sword, will turn to ashes.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be killed.
Yep.
So yeah.
And then Gabrielle kind of has like this, wait, what just happened here? Look on her face. So, and they have that discussion though, that anybody that breaks the chains with the sword will be turned to ash.
Right.
Which sets it up for when they get into the caves. But before they get into the caves, Gabrielle's realized that Yolis isn't acting right.
Yeah.
He was hurt in the fight at the barn.
And he doesn't want nobody to know.
And he doesn't want anybody to know because he doesn't want to be left behind, and he knows Hercules will make him stay behind.
Right.
But they've lost the ability to heal themselves.
Yeah.
So this is a problem.
Yes, it is.
And Gabrielle's like, well, I won't say anything, but...
Yeah. So then they're walking through the cave, and then it starts shaking, and then Hercules turns into Atlas.
Yes. And he holds the rock up.
He holds a big boulder
so they can get through.
Yeah.
And Gabrielle falls into Yolis.
Falls against them.
And kind of pops them into the wall.
Right.
And it's like, And Xena's like, is everything all right? Because Xena at this point is looking really irritated.
Right.
Because Hercules has the sword at this point.
Yeah.
Xena has her mind made up to strike the blow.
Right.
And so she's already irritated about that. Well, now, in the subtext community, she's getting a little jealousy flare from Gabrielle's flavor of the week, which is Yolis. She's getting a little jealousy flare up from that, so that plays another part into her irritation. And Gabrielle's like, yeah, I'm sorry. He got hurt in the barn back there.
Can't keep quiet now.
Yeah. So Hercules is like, you're going to stay? And Gabrielle's like, I'll stay with him.
Yeah. I mean, Hercules had this, he wasn't surprised by the fact that Yolis would hide that.
Right.
He's like,
because he's brave of heart and hard of head.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like, why didn't you say something? Hercules says,
yeah,
because he's brave of heart and hard of head.
Right. And then Gabrielle says she'll stay with him.
And she's standing by Xena at this point. We've got another big subtext moment.
Yeah.
According to, more people than I can account for. But because of the embrace between Xena and Gabrielle, it's this sort of intimate embrace. Mm-hmm. There's a hug, and it's a very lingering one. And then Gabrielle slides her hand around Xena and kind of hooks her hand into her breastplate, at the base of her breastplate.
Right.
And so you see this really, tender exchange between the two ladies. So people grade that as subtext. And then they also grade it as she's, asked Xena not to strike the blow.
Right.
And because subtext community, that means that Gabrielle's more than willing to risk Hercules and Yolis' feelings being hurt because she knows at this point that Hercules is Yolis' best friend.
Yeah.
So she's like, let Hercules take the blow, let Yolis mourn the loss of his friend, but don't you dare take yourself away from him.
Don't take Xena away.
Don't take Xena away. So that's considered, your one of your big subtext moments.
So then off they go. They part ways.
They do. Yep. Xena and Hercules go one way. And then one of my biggest pet peeves happens. So, as a baby Xenite, and having a Liliana who tries so hard to get me to see subtext, and doing subtext research, this is where it all goes out the window for me. They smooch other people, It's like, if I'm in a relationship with someone, I don't go around and flirt with anybody that's breathing, But we have Xena in this episode that smooches Hercules. And I know what your reasoning is. Because Liliana's all like, oh, she's just trying to get the sword. Yes, I can see that in this scene. Because he blocks her from getting the sword. Then when they go a little further on down the path, she says, Gabrielle wants to go to the academy in Athens so she can be a bard, make sure she gets there. And then she clunks him over the head to go up. And then she smooches him again when he's unconscious. So she ain't trying to get the sword from him then.
Well, she felt bad that she, clunked him over the head.
Bad enough to smooch him on the lips?
It's just a little peck.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I hear you talking. So, anyway, Xena climbs up, and then we flash back to Gabrielle and Iolaus.
Right. And at this point, we've already lost fire, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gabrielle, because they've started, Iolaus isn't looking too good.
No.
He's in a delirious state right now.
Yeah.
And he's starting to kind of panic just a little, almost.
Yeah.
And she says, hey, let me tell you a story. And the story that she tells also among the Xenite community is rated as subtext.
Okay.
Now this one I don't get. I don't understand. I can see the embrace thing, but I don't understand this at all. So the story she tells is part of the symposium that's written by Aristophanes. And it's the soulmate story.
Right.
Now a little background information though. When this story was written, it was written as all ancient, in ancient times, there were 3 sexes before the humans were divided up.
Right.
In the soulmate sets. There was male-female, which account for your heterosexual couples, male-male, which account for your gay couples, and female-female, which account for your lesbian soulmate couples. So they think that this is her way of coming to terms with the fact that Xena is her soulmate. They believe this is Gabrielle recognizing that the two of them are soulmates, even though she may not fully grasp that right at this particular point in time. But some people think that they've already been intimate at this point, because a lot of people think that they, after the whole ordeal in the Titans episode, and Xena convincing her that she didn't think she was a kid, they think that that's when Gabrielle lost her virginity, was somewhere in between the Titans and this episode. Off screen, of course, because, this was the follow-up episode to the Titans. And it was actually supposed to be filmed before the Titans. So, anyway, the symposium, they had the 3 races. Well, she's telling about when the gods threw down thunderbolts and split everyone in 2. So now these beings that had 2 heads, 4 arms, and 4 legs now only had 1 hand, or one head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. But each only had half of a soul.
Right. There was always something missing.
There's always something missing until they reunited with their soulmate.
Right.
And so they take that as, her coming to terms with the fact that Xena is her soulmate. But anyway.
Yeah.
There's you.
Now the original version is a lot longer, right?
Oh yeah.
Like a lot longer.
Yeah, the original symposium is actually in a Greek play called Antigone. I did the play. I had the monologue for the whole symposium in it, and the monologue in the play spans about 4 pages.
Oh wow!
So yeah, she gave him the Sunday school version.
It's the little version of it.
Little version. She gave him like the Cliff's Notes edition. Do they still have Cliff's Notes?
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't even know if kids know how to read anymore.
Right?
Yeah. They don't know how to do math. I know that. But answer to all math questions is purple because aliens don't wear hats.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. And then we see Iolaus start losing unconsciousness, and there's an oopsie.
Okay.
When he's losing consciousness. Right. And this was something that I just picked up on when we were watching the other day.
Yeah.
Because being from the background of film, having family that's pretty heavy in the film world, you learn to look for stuff, which is why I pick things apart so much.
Right.
But Renee O'Connor actually has an audio malfunction in this scene. She says Iolaus, and she says it really quietly.
Really low.
At first. And then when she leans down into her cleavage, she speaks directly into the mic. So you hear it really loud, and it's in stereo, and it's echoey.
It's like loud and clear.
Loud and clear because she's through the microphone. That's something that Hollywood absolutely hates to have happen on any set stage. And this is the first instant that it happens on Xena. The other time that it happens in Xena is the episode One Against an Army. It happens with Lucy Lawless. And then Lucy Lawless behind the scenes.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh no! I spoke too clear into the mic. Oh no!" And she's like beating herself up over it. So it's not an oopsie. It's just something that really shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
But it is. But what's any show if it's perfect?
Right? Yeah.
It leaves nothing for us to do. Right?
Right.
Anyway.
So then Xena gets up to the top of the mountain.
Yes.
And she looks up, and there's Prometheus laying there.
And eggs.
Prometheus cheeses when he sees Xena. He gets this grin like, "Hey, they've come to save me.
You're coming to take me away, haha."
So yeah, then you got all these eggs
that start hatching.
Giant eggs.
I bet you I could have made a hell of an omelet out of one of those.
They start hatching. She starts
creeping
carefully going past them because giant eggs. Who knows what's going to come out of those things?
Big bird.
That's what you would think.
Yeah. It's green men.
It's green egg men. But yeah, there was no birds. And would you like to hear what Lucy said about that?
Why, I would love to hear what Lucy said about that, Liliana.
What she thought about the costuming for the Eggmen.
I would love to hear it.
So she said, "Those Eggmen, oh my god, the worst costuming ever. Like something out of an Ed Wood movie." That's what she said about the Eggmen. So she was not a fan of the costume. I guess she thought it was cheesy.
They kind of remind me of the Horde, to be honest with you. Because the way their face paint is, a lot of the designs on their face reminds me of the Horde as well as the headdress.
Yeah.
The helmets that they wore. It reminds me very akin to Horde design.
Yeah. So she starts fighting these Eggmen.
Yes.
And then you see Hercules.
Yes.
Coming up.
Yes.
And isn't it when she notices Hercules that she gets whisked away by the
big bird?
The big bird, I don't even know what to call that thing.
It looks like half vulture and half pterodactyl.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it looks completely real.
Yes, it does.
It's very realistic.
I know.
No, it's not.
So, she's all, "Hercules!"
Yeah, she gets whisked away.
And then she bounces off of a mountain.
And it moves. She must have hit it pretty hard to make it move.
She had to, man.
Or maybe it's because it was styrofoam.
Could have been styrofoam. No, it would have been latex foam.
Latex foam? Okay.
Yeah, styrofoam would have chipped up. Latex foam didn't.
Okay. I don't know. It was fake. But anyway.
It was fake. Indeed, anyway. It was.
So she manages to get up on top of this vulture / pterodactyl thing.
And she stabs it in the neck.
Stabs it in the neck with the sword.
And it cries.
Yeah. She yells down to Hercules, Hercules, the sword! Throws it down. Now, she must have been up really, 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 really high, because when she looks down, you just see...
She was up like thousands of feet in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sword must have come down at a crazy amount of speed.
That's why Hercules didn't catch it.
Yeah. So...
Because the way... when she tosses it down, she falls.
Because she stabbed the bird, so it died.
Yeah. So she falls and she goes crashing down to earth.
So, yeah.
And then...
First Hercules grabs this big old boulder.
Right.
Deflects the sword.
Right.
Perfectly.
Right.
To hit the chains.
Right.
Chains bust loose.
Mm-hmm.
Prometheus is free.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes Xena. And then he catches her.
And this is where one of my little research tidbits come in. So there's this there's this deal called the half-god theory.
Right.
I don't remember what thread I read it on, so don't even ask me. But, I should really start writing that stuff down. Anyway, there's a thing called the half-god theory.
Yeah.
Because falling from the amount of distance that she did, even being caught by Hercules, should have killed Xena.
Right.
So the theory of it is that Xena is actually a half-god. Because the episode The Furies, and, later.
Right.
Then, Crazy Xena spins this whole story about how, Ares is actually her father because Ares and Cyrene slept together before Xena was born.
Cyrene didn't know it was Ares.
Cyrene didn't know it was Ares.
He was disguised as her husband.
But Ares nor Cyrene denied that whole encounter.
Yeah.
Either. So, there's still the theory there. And, I mean, people can argue all day long, oh, well, Ares is romantically interested in her and this and that. Gods don't care. They marry their fucking siblings.
I mean, Zeus and Hera are siblings.
Yeah. They'll marry siblings, sons, daughters, brothers, sisters, which are siblings, and so cousins, first cousins twice removed. They don't give a fuck.
No, they don't.
But, that plays into the whole reason she didn't die is she's actually immortal, which, now this I fell out a little bit with, because somebody was like, well, Xena didn't truly die until she was beheaded.
Right.
Because that's the only way to kill an immortal is to behead them, or to have them kill themselves. But I call bullshit on that because she was crucified and died.
Right.
In the greater good, she died for like a second and came back.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, she wasn't really dead. She was out her body and this and that. And in post Ides of March in the Fallen Angel episode. But I call bullshit on that. I don't know how I feel about the whole half-god theory, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
Because in some ways I can see it, but I don't think she was a true immortal either, though.
Yeah. Right.
Otherwise, she wouldn't have died from being crucified. But they're like, oh, it would explain her supermortal strength. It would explain her speed. It would explain her acute hearing. It would have explained her fighting skills. Yeah. So, I mean, there may be some aspects and some... I mean, she has, like, jumped off cliffs and stuff before, and she can jump up into the top of a tree.
Right.
Like, better than, what's his name? Hunneman?
Oh.
What's his name?
Who?
The big ape-looking dude in the...
I don't know. I don't remember what his name is.
In the Way episode.
The Way. I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of his name right now.
Hunneman, I think. I can't remember. But we'll get into that one later.
Yeah.
And,
anywho, so Prometheus is free.
Yay!
Mankind has their gifts back. Fire comes back on.
Yes.
Electric switch, I guess. Because you see the torches light back up again.
Mm-hmm.
And then Yellis is feeling better.
Yeah.
They have saved the day.
Yay!
Yeah. Then we come to the end.
The end. I can't go through the end. It's too painful. Because this is again where I fall out with the subtext. This is what mindfucks Trista. Okay? So, subtext is a thing in the Xena community. Even the cast and crew talk about how everything had to be kept subtext, even though they were in a relationship,
Yeah.
But they got smoochies going on with other people. Yolus is smooching Gabrielle, which now Gabrielle does actually look at him like, that was nice. She has like this shy, cheesy grin.
Yeah.
And somebody actually in one of the subtext threads was like, that was her, oh shit, how am I going to tell Xena face? But then Hercules tells Xena, I never thought I'd meet anybody that made me feel the way my wife does. Xena's like, oh, stop it.
The way his wife did.
The way his wife did. Not does, did. Yeah.
But,
But
so...
Xena's all like, oh, stop it. And they have a moment. They part ways.
They part ways.
And they're looking at each other.
Yeah.
And Iolaus asks Hercules, do you think, somebody owns another half of your soul? Hercules is like, I know it. And he looks at Xena, and Xena all cheeses all big like she waves at him. He's like, you're looking at like, she didn't ever smile at Gabrielle like that. She actually does. Later.
She does.
But anyhow.
That's it.
Somebody on one of the subtext forums.
Yeah.
That scene.
Uh-huh.
They're like, you know what rates the biggest as subtext? The last scene rates as the biggest subtext scene between Xena and Gabrielle. So I'm all reading on. I'm like, okay, this is going to be good.
Right?
Like, this is going to shed all the light on the subject that I need to see ever at all. Do you know what their explanation was?
What?
Their explanation was Gabrielle gets on the horse behind Xena.
Oh.
And then off camera, you hear her. And then off camera, they just have this feeling within the depths of their soul that she says, so tonight we're going to roleplay as Hercules and Iolaus. I was like, oh my god, you guys set me up.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
That's funny.
thus ends the episode of Prometheus.
Yeah.
Our next episode is going to be Death in Chains.
Death in Chains, the first appearance of Celesta.
Yes, I like
Celesta too. Yeah.
I'm going to be brooding a little bit because Gabrielle has yet another flavor of the week.
Yeah.
And we see Xena all in her kind of grr stage because you can see the jealousy in this one. A little bit of subtext, not anything crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, that wraps it up for this one.
Yep.
Tune in on the next edition of the Babbling Bards podcast.
Bum, bum, bum.
A Xena Warrior Princess, please. Yes. I should do my Beverly Hillbillies Ellie Mae impression at the end.
Okay.
Where Donna Douglas would pop on and she'd say, "This has been a Filmwise presentation." But I'm not going to do that.
Why not?
I don't know. No.
Why?
Because I just did.
Okay.
Okay. Anywho.
So yeah. We have come to the end.
Aww.
Until next time.
Happy chakrams!
Yay. Okay.
I say happy chakrams. You have this other thing that you say.
Battle on?
Battle on.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright.
Round one. Fight!
See you guys later.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.